Okay, so before getting started in chapter 3, you really need to know how to use the calculator. So this is the video to start with. Anyway, let's say I got this listed numbers. My numbers just so happen to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I would like to find the average of those numbers, the mean. We're always going to use mean because average is kind of vague, but mean means exactly this. It means add them all up and divide by however many you got. So if I add them all up, and I've got 4 of them, so divide by 4. Okay, so 10 divided by 4, that's like 2.5. All right, now if that's all we were going to do all semester, you wouldn't need the calculator for anything fancy because I can do that without any special buttons. But there's so many things I could be doing at the same time with this set of numbers, and all of those are really complicated formulas, which is the point. Okay, so I need to get these numbers into my calculator. We're also using, print out the page, it says using the TI, putting the numbers into the calculator. Okay, so the stat button. All right, you figure we're going to use the stat button a lot this semester. It's right here. It's kind of like next to these arrows. Okay, and when you get in there, it says edit, calc, and test. And I hit enter right when the cursor is still on edit. Now across the top, I see list 1, list 2, list 3. Okay. And in mine, there's a whole bunch of numbers in here. Okay. There's a whole bunch of numbers in here. There's a whole bunch of numbers in here. And I want to put the numbers in. Now, that means I got to clear this out. Okay. And there's several ways to do that. One, I could delete, with the delete button, I could individually delete each and every one of them. Or I could arrow on up to L1 and hit clear. If you hit delete when you're on L1, next time you go into your calculator, you won't even find an L1 on your calculator. You don't want to delete L1, you just want to clear it out. I screw that up so many times that I've just taken to hit each delete, 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 delete all the way down the list rather than clearing the entire list because I accidentally clear L1 off the calculator. If you do accidentally clear L1 off the calculator, you could use this insert button right above the delete and that L1 right there, which is a second function, a yellow L1, to put it back. Or you could go into the back, take out all the batteries, take out that lithium battery right there, and wait 30 seconds, then put it all back together. Okay, and it'll return it to factory settings, so L1 will be there again. Anyway, now I'm in there, and I'm on L1, and I need to put these numbers into the calculator. 1, enter. 2, enter. 3, enter. 4, enter. Okay, by now it's taken just about the amount of time I would have finished the problem by now if I had been doing it by hand. It's not just so you can get means, it's so you can get all sorts of stuff. All right, so I have entered all my numbers in, and now I'm trapped right here on this. I can't balance my checkbook or go away and do anything else. I'm just stuck here forever. So then I hit second quit, the yellow button, followed by the quit. That will take me out. So now I'm back on where I used to be. I got all sorts of numbers on there, and I could balance my checkbook and stuff. But these 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're still in list 1 waiting for me. Okay, so now I want to do some actual calculations. Stat, calc, calc. So the center one, calc. And the very first thing I see with the cursor on it is one variable, stats. So I hit enter. And now I'm back to the normal people balancing the checkbook screen, except it says one variable, stats, at the bottom. And it hasn't done any work yet. Okay, that's because it doesn't know, out of the many lists in your calculator, it does not know which one to use. And if I had put 1, 2, 3, and 4 into L2 or L3, I'd have to tell it right now, could you do L3? But I put mine in L1. And so if you just one variable stats and then hit enter another time, it goes, gosh, you didn't tell me which list. Oh, well, I'll just do list 1. So it's the default value, L1. If you don't say which list to do, you will be doing list 1. All right, and then I see lots of stuff, and the very first thing I see is an X with a line across the top of it. This is pronounced X bar, and it is the mean. That was the question, the average of those. Okay, and my calculator, sure enough, says 2.5. And you continue on down, the sum of all the x's, the sum of all the x's if they're squared, Sx and sigma x. This is the standard deviation and the standard deviation of the population if I was the US Census. We might need those. And then it says I can continue on down. And eventually I see min x, Q1, med, Q3, max x. Med is short for median. We're going to need that. Okay, and it comes out, it says that that's 2.5 as well. Just so happens in this particular case. All right, so to get through the rest of this chapter, we're going to need to put all things in the calculator so we can get mean and median. That's in this section, but once you get into the next section, it's going to ask for standard deviation as well. And you really, really don't want to be doing standard deviations by hand. It's a really complicated formula. In this case, it said that the standard deviation was 1.29, if someone had asked me. But they didn't. Anyway, so without even knowing the formulas for some of this stuff, it's going to give me a ton of information, not just that. Okay.